replay. The Wolverines pass a huge road test by beating Penn State. We'll have the highlights. We'll also meet Captain Lamar Woodley, who's leading Michigan in more ways than one. And we'll look ahead to another tough test as we scout Iowa, Michigan's next opponent. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you in part by Diet Mountain Dew. How Dew does diet. By Pontiac, official performance machines of Michigan and the NCAA. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? By LaSalle Bank, proud to support the University of Michigan football program. LaSalle Bank, making more possible. And by Big Boy Restaurants. Oh boy, Big Boy, celebrating 70 years as your hometown family restaurant. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Michigan Replay. Well, 17-10, a hard-fought, tough, physical game at night in Happy Valley. And Penn State was good, but Michigan a little bit better.
Well, Penn State was a motivated football team, Jim. They had a lot of reasons to play. They played really hard, and so it was a great football game. A great
you said, this is interesting,
environment.
As a visiting coach, you said this is a great environment to play, and I want you to know they were all against you. How does that work?
Well, you know, what I saw was our players were really excited when they went out to warm up before the game. I mean, that place was up for grabs, and you know, it was just there was so much enthusiasm, so much passion in that stadium. And when the game started, you know, we were taken aback a little bit. We had some penalties. We slowed ourselves down, but it was a great evening of football.
It really was, and it didn't get off to the start you wanted. This is the opening kickoff, and they get a good return on it.
Well, Lateral Savoy, we missed a tackle there. Lateral Savoy saved a touchdown here, and but Penn State had great field position, and our defense, they came to play. Here, Sean Cravel forces the quarterback to throw.
That was the story of the game, pressure from your defensive front.
Well, it really was, and we held, and on a fourth down, Penn State misses a field goal, so we get pretty good field position ourselves, and Penn State got nothing out of that opportunity.
So we moved to the second quarter, still nothing, and you start putting a drive together. Boy, Chad was on target.
Well, that was an absolutely great catch by Steve Breston. The ball's thrown a little bit behind him. He got hit just as he got the ball, but he maintained it. Here, young freshman Greg Matthews makes a block, and Adrian Arrington picks up with some good running a first down.
Here, Breston gets a little swing route and almost breaks it.
Well, he got an excellent block there from Adrian Arrington. That's the thing I like all year long. Our receivers have done a good job blocking, Jim.
This is a huge third down conversion.
Well, you know, we didn't run the football very well in this game compared to what we have. The yardage was hard, but that was a big pickup there because it kept the drive alive. And how about that for a throw?
There wasn't much room there, and Henney just threads the needle.
Well, we had good protection all night. I thought our line did a great job, and Adrian Arrington came up with a couple of outstanding catches.
And here's the story of the game. Pressure. Morelli he was under fire all night by your entire defensive
Well,
front.
we had a lot of guys get sacks, and we had 6 or 7 sacks, and here Lamar comes up with another one. Terrence told me before the game, I asked him, I said, when are you going to get a sack? He said, tonight, Coach.
Yeah, he got one.
And he did.
Then we move back to your possession. Here's another pass complete to Arrington.
Well, we got good field position again with this catch. We got a 1st and goal on the 9 and ran for decent yardage, then came up short on a couple plays. But Garrett Rivas, who's having an outstanding year, got good protection and made it 10-0. We got 10 points there in the second quarter.
And you've got them backed up. This is the play that got them back in the first half, an interference call.
Well, I agree. I think Morgan was playing the football there. I think their feet caught up, but the call went against us. It was a big call because now This is one of 2 screen passes. There we let the ball outside, and this screen pass was a big play in the drive. And then they get some protection. The scrambling quarterback makes a good throw down here to the 19-yard line, and they're knocking on the door.
The one thing you do, though, is you don't let them in the end zone. Good defensive coverage there by Engelman, and they're forced to go for a field goal.
Brandon made a great play there, great drive on the ball, knocked it loose, and we come out of there with only a field goal, which after they drove that ball the length of the field, Jim, and our defense had played so great up until then that you know, we knew at the half it was still a ball game.
Yeah, but you dominated. Was it disappointing that you dominated that first half fairly well to only come out with that 7-point lead, a 1-score lead?
Well, you know, I think we at least felt by the end of the second quarter, that we had started to run the football some, because in that first quarter we couldn't run it, and we had to throw it, but we did make some yardage throwing the football.
Well, in the second half, the Wolverines put it away. We'll be back and take a look at those highlights. But first, we hear from Adrian Arrington talking about picking up the slack for the injured Super Mario Manningham.
We know we had to pull up the weight for Mario, you know what I'm saying? That was big-time production that was out that we were missing. But I think we did the job. Me and Steve came in, just try to make plays, keep drives alive.
Locker room.
Any road game in any environment like this, you know, we kind of put the game on our shoulders as a defense because it's extremely hard for the offense to operate. So we just try to do our best to not allow the offense to score as least points as possible.
The Wolverines had a 10-3 lead at half over Penn State, and you get the football to start the second half. And I thought, because the offense had begun to run the ball, that this would be a critical opening drive.
Well, it's one of the things that one of the reasons you defer, so you can get the ball in the second half, hoping that you've had enough snaps and you can move the football, but it didn't work out that way, Jim.
But your defense continued to play extremely well. Here's a big sack there by Tim Jamison.
Well, Tim, I think, back to full speed and getting better every day, and makes a big play there.
Here's a big play. It's a completion for Penn State, but Anthony Morelli, their quarterback, was hit just as he released the ball and didn't return to the game.
Well, anytime you have a guy get knocked out of the game, you hate to see that as a coach and as a competitor, and yet, you know, it's part of the game.
Now, they had to come in with Darryl Clark, who was their backup, and he has problems with pressure again as Rondell Biggs gets it.
Well, you see, Jim, it's, of course, we had a lot of guys play well, and they played well together, but everybody is in on it. It's not one guy making all the plays, and there is a big play. One of the biggest plays of the second half, maybe the game. Adrian catches a slant for a first down, and here I think Chad makes one of, if not maybe his best play of the game. Scrambled out of trouble, got rid of it. Steve got up the field, got good field position.
And this is just Mike Hart at his best, isn't it?
Well, he ran off tackle right to the right side. A lot of guys helping him get down to the 1-yard line.
Get down to the 1, and then you punch it in. This is a big touchdown.
Well, Will Paul's in there giving us some help, and we stretch it and get it into the end zone, and that's exactly what we needed to do.
It gets you a 17-3 lead. You go into the fourth quarter, and here you are. And this is where Clark, the backup quarterback, scrambles out, and he gets hurt, and he's got to come out.
Well, he scrambled, and when he cut back, the pursuit, backside pursuit, and you can see there his head hits that ground pretty hard, and now he had to leave, and this young kid, Cianciola, came in and did a good job.
Yeah, good job, exactly. Cianciola, that's a tough name, but you got it.
Well, they asked me after the press conference, I said, you know, I didn't know his name, but there aren't many times you see a third guy go in there, but I thought he did a good job.
Here you are late trying to close the game out. Smart play by Chad Henne here. Couldn't get the pass in on third down. You're forced to kick it back to Penn State, and this was the play that really hurt.
Well, we're in control of the game with less than 4 minutes to go. At least apparently we're in control. And a very, very well executed play. I don't think we got backside pursuit there. We need somebody to front the football, but they had some great blocks. And now this game is up for grabs.
And Michael Hart, again, a big play there on a 2nd and 11. Gets 23 and helps you burn some more clock. Now you have to kick it back to them. They use all their timeouts though, and this is their 4th down last gasp try.
Well, that's really, Jim, what that run allowed us to do is it forced Penn State to use both their timeouts. And now when they got the ball back, they didn't have any timeouts left.
17-10, the final. And as you said after the game, that was a hard-fought, extremely physical football game. I don't know whether people realize just how every snap, I mean, it was bang, bang all over the field, wasn't it?
Well, I think the 2 best defensive teams we played this year are Wisconsin, who has an outstanding defense, and Penn State played as well. If you look at their 3 losses, they've lost twice on the road to Notre Dame and Ohio State. They're a good football team. They had great motivation because of last year's Michigan-Penn State game. They were ready to play, and it was a great football game.
And their interior defensive line, I thought, was very good because they did maybe the best job of anybody stopping the run.
Well, they did a great job, and from start to finish. They gave us a lot of different looks. They brought 8, 9 guys. They blitzed us more than probably we had seen them blitz before.
And you also played the game, and the big word before the game was you don't have Mario Manningham. Oh, my gosh. Everybody was, you know, gnashing their teeth. I thought the kids responded real well, especially Arrington and Breston. And Greg Matthews got some time.
Well, and Carson Butler got 3 catches. So, yeah, we had a lot of guys during the course of this season, Jim. Someplace in special teams, someplace on offense. Mike Massey, what a tough, hard-nosed competitor he is. He played banged up the entire game. So, yeah, we had a lot of guys that have stepped up and made a difference.
Well, they made a difference, and the final was 17-10. The Wolverines get the victory over Penn State. When we come back, we'll meet Lamar Woodley up close and personal. But first, we hear from Rondell Biggs, talks about the pressure. That's all the game plan against any quarterback.
Good coaching, man. We got good athletes, man. We did what we was coached to do, man. We got a lot of people on the line that do their job, you know. Even though some people not getting sacks, they still cause pressure. You know, it's freeing up me, Lamar, J-Mo, or, you know, Will, anybody.
Lamar Woodley has been a standout since he arrived at Michigan as a highly touted high school star from Saginaw. He got 2 starts as a freshman and has made plays for the defense in every game. Now as a senior, he's been elected captain and embraces the role as a leader. But Woodley believes leadership does not start when you're a senior.
Being elected for captain and being a leader starts from when you first get here, about how you carry yourself and how you do out there on the field. So guys start respecting you early. So then when you become a senior, you know, these guys have been following you, and you know, they know what type of person that you are. They know that you're going to represent the team good. They know that you're a guy that's going to go out there and get the job done. You know, you're not going to be one of those selfish guys. So I think it starts early. You know, you have to be a leader early.
Lamar is a leader off the field as well. In the summers, he and his high school friend Clifford Ryan of Michigan State hold a charity golf outing in Saginaw to raise money for his hometown recreation centers. It's about giving back something to his community. It's about giving some help to the kids of Saginaw.
It's all for the kids in the recreation center, because me and Clifton, you know, we used to be involved with like a lot of recreation things in Saginaw, as far as basketball, football, and that was something that kind of got took away from the kids. So when they get out of school at 3 o'clock, they don't really have things. They don't have nothing to do. It's like from the recreation was open from 3 until like 5. So that gave you opportunity to go meet people and take field trips and actually have fun. But now when they close down, kids really don't have nothing to do in that time, so they're out in the streets, you know, and that's something you want to avoid.
There's no question Lamar Woodley has been a good fit for Michigan football. As a player, he's been outstanding. But Woodley will tell you Michigan has been a good fit for him, too.
This is a place where you grow up at and you build relationships with people. And it's a great experience.
And that's a fumble. Fumbled out of his hand as he went and cocked his arm to throw. It's still loose. It's picked up by the Wolverines. Down the right sideline at the 40, the 35, the 30, and into the end zone, Lamar Woodley for a touchdown.
And I was a guy that was a class clown who do a lot of joking. I mean, I still do a lot of joking now, but I know when and when not to joke around. I knew a change was going to come. And, you know, my high school coach always told me that, you know, you're going to change, you're going to be different. And, you know, and when I go back home now and I talk to them, they say a lot of things have changed about me. You know, I did a lot of growing up.
Well, he's done a lot of growing up, and he's become a darn good football player, hasn't he? Well, he's going to graduate. You talk about all the things that he does when he goes back with he and Cliff Ryan and give back to that community. And what a leader he's been on this football team. And, you know, he's one of those guys that you just hope all great things for because he deserves them.
And when you want to rush the passer, get old number 56 fired up and look out.
Oh, he's a great competitor and great athlete.
Well, and he's a great captain, and Michigan's glad to have him. When we come back, we'll look ahead and scout the Iowa Hawkeyes. But first, we hear from Steve Breston. He tells you that the schedule never gets easy.
I feel like the gauntlet's the whole season. I mean, it's like, can't say you're almost done. You like, respect every team in the Big Ten. You know, Indiana went out there and they beat Iowa, and you know, Iowa they won't come in. They won't try to get us. So I mean, we got to keep going, keep staying focused, and you know, raise the bar every week.
Coach Carter says it's best. Keep raising the bar each week because what Iowa did today isn't going to be the same team that's going to come into Michigan Stadium. So we got to prepare for their best and expect their best.
Just heard from Chad Henne. You got these kids working the whole thing out. Coach Carr says this and that's what we're going to do. You got that thing working, man.
Well, they're working, Jim.
Yeah, they're working. Well, so are you now. You and your staff
we're all
are working hard.
Yeah, but they're doing the playing.
Yeah, and you got to continue to work hard because Iowa comes into Ann Arbor, and I don't care what happened against Indiana Saturday. Iowa is Iowa, and Kirk Ferentz is an outstanding coach.
Yeah, he's an outstanding football coach. He's one of the good guys in coaching, quality guy.
And they bring what many people feel was one of the better quarterbacks in the league preseason, True Tate.
Well, offensively, you know they're going to try to establish the run. They're always a physical team. And Damian Sims stepped in there for Young, who missed this game. Their starting tailback had 2 touchdowns, and so they've got some depth at that position.
Yeah, quality tight end at Scott Chandler.
6'7", Jim. 6'7".
Got anybody can defend
pounds.
him?
He should be an offensive tackle, but he runs too well, so they throw him the football too. Mitch King, outstanding, leads the Big Ten in tackles, 8th in the NCAA.
Mike Klinkenborg is a good linebacker for him, and Adam Shea is their cornerback. And
makes a big play here.
Yeah, makes a huge play here. And Iowa's the kind of team, you know, you talked about Kirk Ferentz being a quality guy. Iowa's the type of team, even though they were upset by Indiana, I got to believe that when they come into Ann Arbor, they're looking for that as a season saver.
Well, Jim, you know, we're at a point in this season where every team has got some injuries. They're banged up. They're tired. They're in the middle of midterm exams. This is, I think, the most difficult time of the season. And what I saw on Saturday was Indiana has had is a lot. They remind me of us a year ago. Now, I think they're going to get some of those guys back. But, you know, going on the road in this conference is not an easy deal, ever.
When Iowa comes in, you've got to, again, go back to your team and focus them on the task at hand because you're coming off an unbelievable stretch. This may be the finish of it where you've gone Notre Dame, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan State, Penn State, and now Iowa.
Well, yeah, that's a gauntlet, and they're all physical teams. Iowa is traditionally, Norm Parker, I coached with a great defensive coach, and they've got a great staff, but they're always a physical. You know, they're going to make you earn every yard you get, and offensively they've got the ability to run the football. And of course, Tate can hurt you in so many ways because he's not only a good thrower, he's a very good athlete.
Now let's take a look at the standings after this past weekend's play. And, you know, here you are with Wisconsin 1 loss, Purdue and Indiana 1 loss. You are top with Ohio State. And Iowa and Penn State with the 2 losses. They can't afford another one, so they're desperate.
Well, yeah, I think, you know, they get off to a great start, and that certainly was a game that was a very difficult loss for them. But, you know, as you look at Indiana is, you know, they're resurging. That's for sure.
And they're gaining confidence for Coach Hepner.
There's no question. I heard him on an interview after the game, and he talked about, you know, that they're